Well, I'm here with Kristopher Dommin again before the H.I.M show at the House of Blues in Orlando. So I appreciate you taking the time to meet with me again.
Absolutely.
So, how has this tour been going with H.I.M?
Fantastic. We've been on tour with them since March, actually. So we did about 13 days in Europe, and then came over to the States, and it's been great. Yeah, it's probably one of the best tours we've probably been on.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
That's any memorable moments on this tour?
For me, the most memorable moments are always, just being exposed to new people, having brand new people come up to us after the show that have never even heard of the band and are just kind of, taken back.
Has there been any one or two songs that you guys do that the crowd just really responds to in your set?
Dark Holiday is usually the one. Dark Holiday and My Heart, Your Hands are the two that I think seem to grab people's attention immediately.
Mm-hmm.
We've been switching it up on this set a little bit, and for people who have seen us before, sometimes we'll play the song I Still Lost, and that seems to be a real cool moment in the set for people that are already fans.
The last time I saw you was when you guys opened for 69 Eyes at the Social,
right.
And I'm sure a lot has happened since then. So I mean, what has been some big changes for you guys, or big experiences since the last time I saw you?
I think probably the biggest changes have been just the size of the crowds. Just a lot more people knowing about us, more familiar with us. The album is out now, whereas opposed it wasn't before.
Right.
So now people have a larger picture of the band and our music, and are more familiar with us. So I think we're just a more familiar band to a lot of people.
Now, I was looking at your blog too, and you, I guess, wrote a piece about Peter Steele after he passed, and you were saying that hopefully it's going to be in Kerrang! Magazine. So
I was told it's coming out this week.
Oh, this
Kerrang!
week?
Yeah.
So was it kind of like your experiences or your thoughts on him, or what was the gist of the piece that you wrote?
Well, yeah, it was the way I found out is excuse me, people at Roadrunner in the UK. I got a text early in the morning, I guess the morning after it had actually happened, and just was kind of blown away. And then I think a couple minutes later, she was like, Kerrang! Is doing a special if you'd like to, they're asking like Roadrunner bands or anybody who's had kind of contact or influenced by or experiences with to kind of say a few words.
Right.
And so I jumped at the opportunity, as he was probably one of my biggest music heroes. Certainly had a lot of influence on Dommin.
Yeah.
And so I got up that morning and I sat down at the computer and just kind of started tapping out my thoughts and sent it off. And I was hoping it was going to get used, and I don't know if it's been edited or not,
But as long as it's in there in some capacity, that's kind of like your tribute to him. So.
Absolutely.
I noticed that you played an acoustic set, or you probably may have done a couple on this tour or the last one before some of the shows. Any thoughts on doing an actual acoustic tour of your songs?
I would actually love to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, there hasn't been any talk about it or anything like that, but doing the songs acoustically for me is one of my favorite things, actually, because it really strips the songs down, and you kind of, I think, appreciate the songwriting and the melody a lot more.
Right.
In that sense than you do kind of the big kind of, epic rock versions of the songs.
Right.
I would love to do it. Maybe it's something that will happen in the near future. I'd love to do it. I mean, we've done a few things here and there, and people seem to really, take to it. So.
You performed as a trio in Canada. Are you still as a trio tonight? I didn't know what happened.
No, it's just some passport issues with Billy. He couldn't get into Canada.
Oh, okay.
So we had to use bass tracks and play as a trio, which, I don't like using tracks as one for one, just because it's so constricting as far as your set. I mean, you have to play it exactly like it is, and
Right.
I really love being able to kind of improvise and draw things out, and kind of just, as a band, we kind of do things on the fly, you know what I mean? We
can improv.
Yeah, exactly. And so not being able to do that kind of really felt, constrictive, and like we were being chained down a little bit. So that was no fun. And obviously, not having Billy up there on stage with me felt a little lonely on stage.
And you mentioned that in the blog, too.
Yeah, because I have Cameron over on one side and Constantine over on the other, and here I am in the middle,
Yeah, with
and not
like
much space.
yeah, that's true. Also, I noticed you had a little bit of bad luck in Canada with your van, but although it could have been a lot worse. Oh, that was in Canada?
That was in Chicago. We didn't have any equipment stolen. It was
Right.
all just stuff taken from the van. But still, we're doing these long, like 12-hour drives with like no music, no radio. So it's just kind of dead silence. You're just hearing the hum of the engine, trying not to fall asleep.
Right. And the GPS too. They took the GPS system too.
GPS, and they took a couple other things. One of them I just won't mention right now, but
Oh.
it was it sucked,
Oh no.
for lack of a better term.
Yeah. Well, has that changed as far as like, is there anything that you do now that you didn't do before, as far as like just trying to secure things differently or take anything with you? I mean.
No, I mean usually we're really good at it, about it. I mean it's probably just the thing when that happened, we were parked in one of those public pay lots, and I think we're probably not going to try to stay in city centers too much anymore, where we can't keep an eye on the van.
Right. Where you can't be right at the hotel parking lot or
Right.
right. Yeah, that's true. And it's a shame because, but at least, like you said in the blog, at least they didn't take any of the equipment
Right.
or,
the van itself,
Yeah.
and leave us stranded. And
That's true. Or the whole trailer itself, and then it's like,
Exactly.
well, great, we have a van and nothing
it
else.
would have probably ended the tour for us if
Yeah.
that would have happened.
You've gone through laryngitis. I read that a little bit too, and the voice. I mean, any vocal remedies or anything that you've been doing to kind of keep your voice, in tip-top shape on this tour, or?
With laryngitis, it's a little different. It wasn't. I mean, I had been sick a bunch on the tour, and it was really, I think, that and kind of just everything combined catching up with me after a while, just not really having any rest and being on very little sleep. But once you have laryngitis, there's no remedy. There's no cure.
Yeah.
It's
have
just
to rest.
you just have to literally not talk, so that your vocal cords can heal. Because that's
Right.
what it is. It's your vocal cords swelling up, and them not vibrating like they're supposed to when you speak. And there's no tea, herbs, or anything you can take that can do anything. So you just have to kind of shut up.
How many shows did you miss from that? I mean,
Just two.
well, that's not bad then,
Yeah.
considering. Could have been worse.
Well, yeah. I mean, a normal recovery period is like 7 days, but I went to the emergency room and pumped me full of steroids. So, which is an anti-inflammatory,
Right.
which reduces swelling. So that's what we did. And, it was a little rough in the beginning because really what happened was I was, still forcing myself to sing and do all this stuff every night. But my vocal cords were still, like, not in good shape. They were kind of being forced to be used,
Right.
And so, but it's what we had to do. I hated missing the shows. I hated canceling them because this tour has been so good for us, and we've been making so many new fans in this tour. Every time we missed a show, I was just beating myself up over it,
Right.
So luckily it was only 2 shows, and one of them we're going to be going back to do a headlining show for just at the end of this tour.
Oh, that's nice.
So
Well, I know everybody's going to appreciate that too.
yeah, so we'll be going back to do more songs anyway, and hopefully it'll be good.
Yeah.